I had never told my wife, Margot, that I secretly own nearly half of her father's company, a stake worth over $15 billion. For 23 years, she only knew me as a modest logistics consultant with an old car and a small apartment. Then one Tuesday, she invited me to dinner with her parents. Curious to see how they would treat someone they believed insignificant, I accepted. The smiles were polite, the questions sharp. In the middle of the meal, her father slid a leather envelope across the table. That's when I realized this dinner wasn't about family. It was a calculated test. The text message had arrived that Tuesday morning. Dinner Friday, 7 p.m. Important family matter. Margot slid her phone across the table. When my parents get this formal, she said quietly, someone usually gets hurt. She wasn't wrong. Theodora Stone didn't do casual. Every word, every gesture was strategy. What Margot didn't know, and couldn't, was that I'd been preparing for this moment. I'd watched the dynamics for months, waiting for the right opportunity to reveal the truth. For years, her parents had believed they had power over me. A 53-year-old man with a 7-year-old Honda, a 2-bedroom apartment, and no family wealth. They thought they saw the full story. They were wrong. 27 years ago, I inherited $500,000 from my grandfather. While most would have bought a car or gone on vacation, I invested quietly in a struggling shipping company run by Randolph Stone. He was drowning in debt, overlooked by banks, yet fundamentally strong. Within 3 years, I owned 15% of the company. By the time I met Margot, I owned 31%. By our wedding, 42%. Today, I own 47%, a stake worth $15 billion. Randolph Stone worked for me. He just didn't know it. Friday arrived cold and unforgiving. Cambridge faded behind us as we drove toward Wellesley, toward the world of old money that judged my Honda as a symbol of failure. Margot held my hand tightly. I promised her that tonight, they would see the real me. Inside the Stone estate, the room was set for 5, but the seating was a trap. Randolph at the head, Theodora to his right, Annesley beside her, and Margot and I across from them, isolated. The pleasantries came first, polite and sharp. Randolph lectured me about a shipping route I had financed. Theodora commented lightly on the weather. Annesley scrolled through her phone, finally lifting her gaze to me only to dismiss my career as just consulting. Then Randolph slid the envelope across the table. Inside was an annulment agreement and a check for $350,000. You married above your station, Randolph said, his voice steady, commanding. We tried to accept this marriage, but this solves everything. Sign, take the money, move on. Margot stood furious. This is insane. Her father looked at me, certain he'd won. But I didn't react. I didn't need to. I picked up the check, letting them think I was considering it. Then I called my attorney, putting him on speaker. Please explain the current ownership structure of Stone Maritime and Logistics, I said, as my attorney calmly listed the shares. 47% held by me through Brennan Holdings, 18% by Randolph personally. The room went silent. The check, their plan, their sense of power, evaporated. You work for me, Randolph, I said. You just didn't know it. I turned to Annesley. I wanted to know whether my daughter values character or wealth. Tonight I have my answer. I tore the check in front of them, letting them see that money never mattered to me. My goal had always been family, love, honesty, and respect. By Monday, I called an emergency board meeting. In 11 minutes, the vote was cast. Randolph was removed and professional management installed. He walked away quietly, humbled but alive to the lesson. In Cambridge, Margot and I returned to our modest apartment. The Stone family's apology arrived shortly after, genuine and unembellished. They returned for dinner in simple clothes, no pretenses, no jewels, just themselves. Slowly, reconciliation began. The company thrived under competent leadership. Margot led our foundation, helping those society had dismissed, and Annesley learned the value of hard work and humility. And for me, I remained Maxwell Brennan. A husband, a billionaire, but most importantly, a man who had proven that character matters more than wealth, love more than status, and patience more than revenge. Sometimes, God gives you years to prepare for a 15-minute moment. And when the moment comes, choose integrity, love, and faith over ego. That is the victory that no one saw coming, but everyone remembered.